I've started a new series on my channel to share my journey of leaving the UK and moving to the other side of the world. In 10 weeks' time, I'm relocating to Thailand on my own with just 3 suitcases, and in today's video I'll be sharing the 10 reasons why I've chosen Bangkok specifically as my new home in Thailand. Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Meg and my channel has had a little bit of an update lately, so I've changed my bio and my account name ever so slightly just to reflect this major new stage in my life that's happening at the moment. So as I said at the start, I'm leaving the UK and relocating to Thailand, and in today's video I'll be discussing my reasons for choosing Bangkok specifically as my new home. Of course, there are lots of towns and areas and cities within Thailand which also have a lot to offer, but I've visited Bangkok a number of times over the years and I feel like it provides that perfect enough balance and mixture of everything that I'll need initially to settle in and adjust to my new life. Of course, this video, as with all of the videos on my channel, is just purely based on my own personal opinions and experiences. Everybody's circumstances are different. So I hope that you find this video helpful, and let's get into it. Okay, so this video is not necessarily in any particular order, but my first reason on this list is infrastructure. Infrastructure technically does encompass the next 2 reasons that I'm going to be giving, but I feel like it deserves its own spot on this list. The infrastructure in Bangkok is just really amazing. It's a very developed city. I personally feel it's a lot more developed than many cities and towns here in the UK. This common myth, which is fairly insulting to Thailand, if I'm honest, that it's some sort of developing third world country, is completely untrue, particularly in the case of Bangkok. It's incredibly developed and it has some amazing infrastructure. So in at number 2 is public transport. Technically this does fall under the umbrella of infrastructure, but public transport in Bangkok is amazing. You've got the BTS SkyTrain, the MRT lines, local buses, trains, and obviously thousands of taxis and motorbike taxis. You can also use the various apps over there to just book a taxi or a motorbike taxi and take you anywhere in the city within a matter of minutes. But more importantly, all of those options are super affordable. Number 3, again, technically under the umbrella of infrastructure, and that's digital connectivity. Here in the UK, despite supposedly being a first world developed country, there are so many dead zones, I think it's called, where there is just no signal, where the signal dips in and out. Even where I live in a very small city. I do live on the outskirts, but you wouldn't expect in this day and age in a country like the UK to have so many areas where the signal is really, really poor on your phone with mobile data, for example. In Bangkok, the digital connectivity and the digital infrastructure in general is absolutely amazing. Wi-Fi signal, availability of internet, mobile data, there's 5G everywhere. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. My 4th reason is food, and this is a major one for me personally as a foodie. This is not exclusive to Bangkok. You'll find amazing food all over the country, but the fact that I'll be able to just step out of my apartment in Bangkok and within a matter of seconds there's 5 different street side food carts or half a dozen small local eateries to choose from on every street corner is absolutely amazing, but most importantly super affordable. Most local dishes and meals on average won't cost more than $2, so super affordable and also available pretty much at any time of the day. So if you fancy a bowl of noodles at 2 o'clock in the morning, for example, that's also available. There's also lots of big global chains and big Western brands as well. I personally prefer to put my money towards the local economy and small little shop houses and that kind of thing, local eateries, but there's literally something for everybody. And there's also every nationality of food you can imagine in Bangkok. So yeah, food, super, super important reason for choosing Bangkok. Number 5 is convenience and availability. Sort of just touched on this one with regards to food, but this pretty much applies to everything in Bangkok. Food, public transport, things to do. I think Bangkok is nicknamed the convenience capital of the world for a reason. It really is an amazing city, and you're also not paying premium prices either. My 6th reason is access to other countries. Now, I did talk about this one in my last 2 videos, so I definitely recommend you go and check those out if you haven't seen those yet, because this does apply to the whole of Thailand, but Bangkok in particular is a fantastic central hub for traveling to other neighbouring Southeast Asian countries, which I'm really passionate and excited about doing. In at number 7 is the people, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about this one in this video because I've expanded quite a lot on this one already in my last 2 videos, so I'll link those in the description box and somewhere here on the screen. I definitely recommend you go and check those out. But yeah, the people in general, Bangkok, despite being a very busy, developed, major capital city, it's very rare that you will encounter somebody who is rude or unfriendly, particularly a local. Whereas, for example, when you go to London, often you don't come away from London thinking, oh, that's the friendliest city I've ever been to. You know, London is renowned, of course this doesn't apply to everybody, but London is renowned for people being quite head down and they don't make eye contact, and people sometimes can be a bit aggressive and not the friendliest. So despite Bangkok also being a major capital city, it's very rare that you will encounter somebody who is impolite or rude or unfriendly. Despite, you know, the chaos and everything that's going on in Bangkok, people are in general a lot friendlier than here in the UK, for example. So yeah, this one is definitely a major reason for choosing Bangkok. Number 8 is affordability. Despite Bangkok being a major developed capital city, you're not paying premium prices for everything that it has to offer. Compared to London, it's at least 10 times cheaper. And this doesn't just apply to food and public transport, for example, as I mentioned earlier. This also applies to things like utilities and general bills and rent, most importantly rent, and I am going to touch on this one in my next reason. But yeah, you're not paying premium prices despite everything that Bangkok has to offer, so affordability definitely deserves its own place on this list. Number 9 is accommodation options. Now, if I was doing this video in any particular order, this one would definitely be up there in at number 1 or number 2. The amount of accommodation options available in Bangkok for under £300 a month is mind-blowing. I've been researching accommodation in Bangkok for the last 3 months straight, and I'm still blown away by the range and the availability of super affordable accommodation options in Bangkok. Despite being a major developed capital city, and I know I keep saying this, but if we were to compare it to London, for example, I don't even think it's possible to rent a mattress on the floor in a hostel, in a room full of other people for under £300 a month. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's possible. Certainly not your own private living space for under £300 a month, even on the outskirts of London. And I'm not talking seedy, grotty, grimy apartments in Bangkok for under £300 either. I'm talking decent quality of living. Just in preparation for this video, for example, I went on one of my favourite rental websites, and within a matter of seconds I found a studio with your own bathroom, you're not sharing with anybody else. It even had a little balcony, it was fully furnished, double bed, big wardrobe, your own front door, and I kid you not, wait for it, £100 a month. Literally mind-boggling. It was on the outskirts of the city centre. It would have taken maybe 45 minutes to an hour to get into the city centre of Bangkok, but like in the grand scheme of things, that's literally nothing. It wasn't too far away from the main MRT station, and within 45 minutes, let's say an hour tops, you'd be in the city centre paying £100 a month to rent your own private studio on the outskirts of Bangkok. Literally mind-blowing. I could go on and on about this particular topic and this particular reason, and I don't want to do that to you, so I'm going to definitely be making separate videos where I'll be talking all about accommodation in Bangkok. I think if I make a video about budget accommodation in Bangkok in particular, I think that will be really helpful to a lot of people. I'll also be giving you, of course, a tour of my apartment once I actually get there and all that kind of good stuff. So definitely stay tuned for more videos relating to accommodation and budget in Bangkok, because yeah, this is a topic I'm particularly passionate about. But the amazing thing about Bangkok, and a lot of people who've relocated there will say this, is that there's a budget for everyone. So you can literally rent a basic condo, and I know by a lot of Western standards, the condo that I'm referring to, for example, that's £100 a month, is probably too basic for a lot of people, but It had everything that you needed, and if you were on a really tight budget, it's the fact that it's even available in a city like Bangkok is amazing. But also, even if you're not on a really tight budget and you're like me and you just, I mean, I will be on a tight budget, and you just prefer to put your money towards things like experiences and traveling. Personally, for me, that's where I prefer to invest my money. As long as I'm somewhere clean and safe that has a decent bed and a wardrobe, a little balcony is also nice. You know, I've got my own bathroom. I'm perfectly happy living somewhere basic. The apartment that I'm renting or going to be renting in Bangkok is not a £100 a month apartment, but I will be doing separate videos all about that. But yeah, it's the fact that it's even available. I don't know of any other city where you can have your own private studio for £100 to £300 a month. And it's the fact that there's a budget for everybody in Bangkok. You can rent a room for £100 a month, and you can also rent, you know, huge penthouses and condos and fancy studios with all the luxury amenities for hundreds of thousands of Thai baht per month as well. And finally, number 10 is green spaces. Despite being a major developed capital city, yes, I know I sound like a broken record, Bangkok has lots of lovely green spaces and many beautiful parks in the city centre, which I'm really looking forward to visiting. It will be nice to get away from the hustle and bustle, and they're not too far away from where I'm going to be living, and just going and sitting and mindfully spending some time surrounded by some greenery. I'm a nature lover at heart. I don't like being out in the sticks in the middle of nowhere, but I am definitely a nature lover. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the green spaces and the beautiful parks in the city centre of Bangkok. Okay, so that's it. Those are my 10 reasons for specifically choosing Bangkok as my new home in Thailand. As I said at the start, I don't know how long I'll be staying in Bangkok. I don't know where I'll be going to next. And of course, Thailand has a lot to offer, but I feel like Bangkok ticks a lot of boxes, and there is going to be an adjustment phase initially. Even though I've lived abroad before, I've spent a number of years in different countries living abroad, and I've travelled quite a lot, and I've been to Bangkok and Thailand a number of times. Even so, there will be an adjustment phase initially, and I feel like Bangkok is pretty much the perfect place to settle in, and who knows what will happen next. So yeah, as I said throughout the video, I will be making lots of other videos within this series. There's a lot of topics to cover and a lot of things to discuss. Do let me know in the comments section if there's anything else you'd like to know, if there's anything that you would like to share. I want the comments section to be a constructive, safe, kind place for people to share. So yeah, I love reading all of your comments, and I try to get back to you all as quickly as I possibly can. Of course, if you did enjoy this video, which I hope you did, and I hope you found it helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really means a lot to me as a small content creator. As I've said in my previous videos in this series, I recently created some links on a couple of Buy Me a Coffee websites, so they'll also always be linked in the description box and also on my homepage. If you fancy giving my channel that little bit extra support, I'd also be super grateful. In the meantime, take care and stay safe. Stay tuned for my upcoming videos, and I'll see you soon.